Big show tonight, people. We got results from Double or Nothing. Results from Night of Champions. Results from tonight's Dynamite. It's a busy night. And I'm excited. I also think that maybe my webcam's a little funky tonight. So I'm going to take a hit of this bubbler right now. Take a little swig of water. And let's get to getting. Yo! What's going on, everybody? Smells like Wrasslin. Episode 65, I think. Wow. I honestly didn't think I'd get past like maybe 3 or 4, but 65. It's kind of cool. Welcome to the show. A lot to talk about. Geez, actually, I never got my notes together for Night of Champions. So whoops. Did you guys hear those boos for Punk tonight? Good. He deserved to be booed. I'm not a fan of his candy ass. Where are these notes? No. Yes. Okay. So, what should we go over first? I guess, Night of Champions, right? Night of Champions was Saturday, held in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Let's see. The matches were Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles to crown the new World Heavyweight Champion. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens defend the undisputed tag team titles against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Gunther defends the Intercontinental title against Mustafa Ali. Bianca Belair against Asuka for the Raw Women's title. Rhea Ripley is defending the SmackDown title against Natalya. And Becky Lynch faces Trish Stratus in a singles match. So, I'm not going to lie. I felt like this is a pay-per-view that maybe only I want to see maybe 2-3 matches tops. First one was the first match right off the bat. Seth Rollins defeats AJ Styles to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. They kept on making references to this being a wrestler's belt. They talked about how the eagle on the belt symbolized the winged eagle. It had the McMahon family crest. And I think I had something involving Bruno Sammartino. They were talking about the however many year history of the McMahons and the WWE. So this is supposed to be a title that they want to associate with WWE's pro wrestling legacy. So I guess it was fitting to have Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, two of the best professional wrestlers of our generation, going at it. Awesome match. Crowd was freaking bonkers for this one. I mean, why shouldn't they? It was a title match against two phenomenal workers. Seth Rollins comes away with the victory. He's the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. The next match I could care fucking less about. Trish Stratus defeats Becky Lynch. I'm not gonna lie, I skipped right over it. I just want to know who won. I found out who won from Google. The end. Gunther defeats Mustafa Ali. That was an awesome match. I mean, Ali is great. Gunther's phenomenal. It could not be a bad match. Gunther comes away with the win. I don't know who's going to be the guy to take this belt off of them. I was assuming, if you were to ask me leading into Mania, who's going to be the guy to take the belt off of Gunther, I would have said my money's on Sheamus hands down. Now, as we know, shit really isn't being booked the way it was before Mania, is it? No, a lot of shit has changed. Why? Because apparently Vince is back. He's just no longer there in person. He is no longer a physical presence in the locker room and the backstage area. He's just, I don't know, doing it by text or whatever, which must be fucking worse. I mean, for the talent, it must be great, you know what I mean, because Vince isn't there, but it's still the same dog shit. You know what I mean? So, the product sucks. All the momentum I had going into Mania totally died. It's classic WWE, getting my hopes up and then dashing them. There's only a handful of storylines that are worth watching. Pretty much anything Bloodline related, anything Judgment Day related, and anything related related to Seth Rollins. And that's pretty much it. So that's fucking disappointing. You know what I mean? I mean, like, the Cody shtick right now, this is the shit that he was doing in AEW. This is the shit that people booed him in AEW because he was just this melodramatic babyface. And it was just like, enough. Like, just go heel. Like, this isn't, like, we're not feeling it. It's not cool. You look lame. We're booing you because we're like, we think we do better as a heel. Now, I don't know why wrestlers just tend to just think that they could just go against the crowd. We're the ones who want to buy your merch, who want to cheer for you. And not gonna lie, we're gonna want it our way because we're the fans and we're the consumer and we're gonna voice our feedback. So, being that we don't think Tony's gonna be reading every fucking tweet that's out there, or you guys are gonna be reading every piece of email that we send, it's gonna be down to the crowd to either boo or cheer. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know actually where I was going with that, to be quite honest. Talking about Gunther, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, the Cody thing. So, I thought he would have been a great heel. He should have just been an asshole. It would have been phenomenal. But no, he just had to fucking force the issue. And this is why no one liked Cena. This is what I don't understand. What I don't understand is, this is the booking that people hated with Cena, and he's just doing the same fucking thing. And it took Cena years to finally get, like, more of, like, the home base crowd going for him. You know what I mean? Honestly, it wasn't until he started, because he wasn't going to go heel. So you know what? He had to start losing, and he had to start losing big. So when he started getting his ass whooped by Brock, that was when I started turning the corner on John Cena, because and then, like, he was having those awesome matches with AJ Styles, and I even didn't mind that he won one of those matches, just because I was like, he's losing, he's mortal, he's actually putting people over, like, this is great, you know what I mean? But, you know, Cody wants to do it his way, and freaking, I guess in the WWE right now, since they're not used to it, they're gobbling that shit up. But I'm gonna guarantee you right now, this guy saying his platitudes week after week, and he doesn't have a title. Welcome to the AEW crowd, buddy. Let's see what else happened that night. Asuka defeated Bianca Belair, which I didn't actually see coming. I would have thought Bianca was going to have a longer title reign, but no. They had her lose to Asuka. Asuka's the champ. And I just feel like Asuka's always the champ. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of wanted to see a little bit more from Bianca's reign, but, you know, such is life. Let's see what else we got. Rhea Ripley defeats Natalya. Could care less about this match instantly because Natalya was in it. No way they're going to have her beat the newly crowned world champion who's super over. That shit wasn't going to happen. Brock Lesnar defeated Cody Rhodes. They're just really piling it on. You know what I mean? Like, he's got this broken arm. He doesn't want to pass out. Like, it has to stop. It's just too much. They just over fucking do it with this guy. And that's, match of the night, I thought, was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeating Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Great match. A lot of times I was like, holy shit, they're going to give this guy all the belts and they're going to take it off of Sami and Kevin. Usos come in. They end up super kicking Solo. Roman flips out. Jimmy super kicks Roman twice. Jay bugs out. This leads to Solo getting hit with the stunner and then getting hit with the haluva kick for the win. Sami and Kevin retain. This is obviously going to spill over on SmackDown this week when it comes to the SmackDown and the Bloodline and the Undisputed titles and that whole mess. So, like, yes, I get that they had more story to tell with the Bloodline and Roman, but they didn't need him to have the titles to do it. The storyline was compelling enough. that he did not have to sit with the titles. 1,000 days means nothing. It means nothing. It meant more for Cody to have the title and then to have this feud between him and Brock than it did for Roman to just want more titles? It's stupid. It's dumb. It's dumb booking. They just don't know what to do with Roman outside of the belts. And you know what? That's their fucking problem. If you can't build your champion enough that he's not relevant without the belt, then he shouldn't be champion. That's the point. That's the point. And to be honest, they did well by Roman, because if he would have lost the titles and then been in this storyline where he's like, you know what, fuck this, Sammy, I'm going to take your belts, then after I'm done taking your belts, I'm going for Cody, because this all started with you in the first place, and I don't trust the Usos to do it, I'm going to team with Solo. Then the Usos get all pissed off, blah, 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 and thus begins the final fracture of the bloodline. That was the story that was meant to be told. That was the story that would have had the cherry on top if both Sammy and Kevin won the belts at Mania and Cody won the belt from Roman at Mania. Then Roman still would have been in a worthwhile bloodline storyline with all the major characters, just the belts would have been in different hands. Then they wouldn't have, honestly, then Cody could have split the belts. There could have been one belt on Raw, one belt on SmackDown, and they didn't need this ridiculous third belt. You know, I don't understand why that wasn't in play in the first place. Why Roman had to have the belts. Why Roman still has the belts. Why there still is not a contender for Roman to take those belts. We're months away from Mania already. We're almost at SummerSlam. There's no contender. There's no contender. What is this guy supposed to be doing? What are those belts for? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It was dumb booking. Fuck. Double or Nothing. Jesus Christ. Stupid. They had the whole world in their hands with this booking. They were about to do something they hadn't done in forever, since Daniel Bryan. A big, worthwhile storyline that had everybody fucking invested in it. God damn it. Double or Nothing. It was an alright show. It was okay. I wouldn't say this was the best AEW show. I'd say this is like, I'd probably say it's one of the weaker ones, but there were still great matches that I was into and still stuff that I was like, whoa, you know, that I popped for. But like overall, it definitely was one of the weaker pay-per-views that they've put out. It does feel like, I guess time will tell if all of these shows booked all together, big shows that you want to sell tickets, that you want to put together good cards, that you want to put together good pay-per-view buys. It's just, we got Double or Nothing, we got Forbidden Door, we got All In, All Out, Grand Slam, all within 4 months. Because we're in May, well, with the end of May right now. Tomorrow's June 1st. So June, July, August, I would say September is Grand Slam. June, July, August, and then we're in Grand Slam. 3 months to book 1, 2, 3, 4 major events. I mean, let's be real. This is the reason why you have a big roster. If you're going to put on these big shows in that short amount of time. Now, to be honest, they have a lot of building up and booking to do. Double or Nothing's over. It's time for the build for Forbidden Door. You know, they've already laid hints that Kenny is in another country trying to enlist help, which means I assume there is something involving the Blackpool Combat Club and something involving the Elite in some way, shape, or form is going to go down at Forbidden Door. Because they were like, oh, he went home to Canada. No, he's out of the country, but he's not in Canada. The only other place he'd be going to is fucking Japan. He's not going to fucking London. He's not going to be calling Will Ospreay to help him out. That shit ain't happening. So Kenny is definitely going to Japan. The question is who? Now, if you read the reports coming out of Double or Nothing, afterwards, on the mic, Kenny said he's going to be getting some 2 friends who are from outside of AEW. So we already got a number 2. Now we have a location, Japan. So what 2 guys in Japan could he be getting? Now, I think it would be cool if he got Kota Ibushi and like Okada. That would be awesome. Now, why he would get those two and what capacity they would be used in, I'm not sure. Now, if the rumors are to be believed, it's supposed to be Okada versus Moxley at Forbidden Door 2. So if that's the case and they're going to put Okada in a singles match, then maybe they're going to put Kenny in a tag match. Maybe it's going to be the Golden Lovers versus Cesaro and Yuta, because from what I've heard, Danielson is injured. But I don't believe that. I feel like if he was injured, he wouldn't be on the show to begin with. And I don't think they're going to book an Anarchy in the Arena match just to protect Danielson. So, he's got to be healthy enough for in-ring action. I do hope that this eventually leads to Danielson versus Omega 2. We have not gotten a clear winner in that feud. They did that at the first Grand Slam, I believe. In my heart of hearts, that's the reason why Grand Slam was booked for, had over 20,000 in attendance, to solely see Omega versus Danielson. I mean, I guess also, wasn't CM Punk scheduled to be at that show? So like that, see, the first time CM Punk has been in New York, like that was a big fucking show. So, they went to a 30-minute draw. There's got to be a winner. I'm assuming at some point in this timeline, they do have that match. I believe in my heart of hearts that also it's going to be Omega versus Ospreay for the IWGP US title, at All In Wembley. I mean, that's the match to do. You do the biggest dream match for UK wrestling fans you could possibly do. But Ospreay's been coy about it. Tony Khan has been coy about it, and anyone else representing AEW. So we do not know what the booking is going to be like going forward for these three events. But AEW has got a big roster. They have their fingers in a lot of different cookie jars in terms of they have the Ring of Honor roster that they could put on that show. They have New Japan that they team with. They have Impact, which they could team with. So they could book whatever they want. What else? Hold on a second. Nah, I'm not gonna bother. Hold on a second. Getting some info here. All right. Anywho, so I mean, like, yeah, they could do it. They could definitely do. They definitely have the roster to book all those shows, but they have to start building. And I feel like tonight was more of like tonight's Dynamite was like a Double or Nothing hangover. You know, a lot of it was just kind of stuff recapping Double or Nothing. A lot of feuds are still continuing. So, I'm not really too sure. I mean, the fact that there's stuff going on with Bullet Club that's unresolved, I guess, more specifically Bullet Club Gold with, Juice Robinson and Jay White still going on Ricky Starks, that could spill over into Forbidden Door, but I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's quickly get through this, this Double or Nothing review so we can get to Dynamite. The buy-in was weird because, like, Jeff Hardy, like, really looked shitty wrestling that night. I don't know what happened. Maybe he got injured. I don't know. But that match fucking blew. It was super sloppy. Like, I don't know what the fuck Jeff was doing. He looked fucking totally gassed. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but that match kind of blew. They did the opening ceremonies for the Owen Hart Cup. That was weird. Tony came out in some weird hat. Martha Hart stiffed him on a hug. She was just looking out into the crowd, all freaking starstruck and shit. Don't even bother watching the buy-in. It was useless. So Double or Nothing opened up with the Blackjack Battle Royale. I thought that actually it was the ending to the Battle Royale was like an ending that I was looking for in a Battle Royale that I haven't seen in a really long time. You know, like the Battle Royals, when it comes to this, like I feel like at the end, it's always a quick elimination. You know what I mean? But these guys went, they had like an actual legit match, and they were going at it. It was fucking awesome. Orange Cassidy, Swerve Strickland, great great end of the Battle Royal match. I thought it was fantastic. Ricky Starks ends up getting rid of both people of Bullet Club. Yeah. Jesus H. Christ. I would only stop this podcast for one person. Uh, Anywho. Um, I thought it was a great match. Ricky Starks eliminated both Juice Robinson and Jay White, which continued the feud as we are going to talk about on Dynamite. Great match, awesome shit. Adam Cole defeated Chris Jericho. It was kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, I just wish they would have had a regular match. I mean, like, I like Adam Cole as a wrestler, and I feel like we finally got him back. We get a couple of matches with him on Dynamite, and then like the first time we see him in a big pay-per-view match, it's a gimmick match. I would have rather him had a straight-out match with Jericho. I think it would have been booked a lot better than what they did here. I didn't expect, and neither did the crowd expect, for there to be a ref stoppage. The hits that Adam Cole was putting on Jericho at the end looked so weak. It looked so stupid that they were going to do a ref stoppage on Jericho. But Jericho just laid there and just started taking punches in the face. Like, it looked like he was trying to say, like, you know, hit me hard, bust me open. And it looked like Cole was just kind of like, I kind of don't want to. I didn't like the ending of the match. They're continuing this feud, but whatever. Anywho, let me go back to my notes. Then that was really, and then Britt Baker got involved, which meant Saraya got involved, which set up a mixed tag match for tonight. And the mixed tag match, actually, there were some parts where I was like, this is getting a little overbooked, but it was booked a little bit better than the match that they had at Double or Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt better. It just felt better. Next match was FTR versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. It was all right. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't buy Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett as actual threats to the tag belts. They're, when Lethal booked himself with Jarrett's also with, like, Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt. They're kind of a comedy act, which kind of means, like, I just kind of don't take that whole group seriously to begin with. I just feel like they're a bunch of assholes who, just pick on mid-carders and low-carders, and then, but now they're in this just title match. I just never bought them as challengers. I love Jay Lethal, and I love Jeff Jarrett, but I just couldn't get invested in the feud because they couldn't sell me on it. You know what I mean? What was the, Alex Marvez was interviewing Ricky Starks. He gets jumped by Bullet Club. FTR come to the save, and that's pretty much like now what they're leading up to. Now there's a mix going on with Jay White and Juice Robinson and Ricky Starks and FTR now. I would totally love to see FTR versus Jay White and Juice Robinson. That'd be a fucking awesome match. They're four great professional wrestlers. I don't care if they're normally a tag team. Those guys could work a tag team match and be fucking incredible at it. So I'm all down for FTR having great matches as champions. You know what I mean? And Jay White and Juice Robinson, they're legit guys, and them tagging up, you could make them legit contenders. Would I buy them winning the belts? Not really. I feel like FTR and the Bucks is a match that's gonna happen. I just don't know when. And with all these big shows that they need booking, if there's not FTR versus the Bucks for the AEW tag team titles by Grand Slam, I've lost all faith in their booking. How could you not put that as? How could you want to book 4 major shows and sell them out and have good pay-per-view buys and not have that match on tap that you could just put on like this and do? Honestly, like, what the fuck? Anywho, Alex Marvez. Oh no, I already talked about that. And I already talked about the mixed tag match. Wardlow defeats Christian Cage. It was kind of cool. I mean, I honestly thought that jump from the ladder at the end by Wardlow, I thought he was fucking dead. I mean, the way he went straight through that table and you could just see him fucking bounce on the floor, I was like, oh my god, this guy's back is fucked. I wish I could go to autograph sightings like the day after a show and just ask these guys, like, yo, what the fuck is hurting you right now? Like, I need to know. Like, I just need to know that fucking hurt. But, you know, Wardlow won. Freaking Arn bit off Luchasaurus's thumb. Like, freaking just chewed on it. It was fucking weird. I don't know. Anywho, Toni Storm defeats Jamie Hayter. There was reports of Jamie being injured. Nothing has been, we don't know anything for sure. I don't think Tony's commented on it at all. I don't think Jamie's commented on it at all. I mean, honestly, seeing Jamie Hayter in a match at Wembley, like, that's obviously a match that you want to book. I would assume if she's dropping the belt to Tony and they're not calling it interim or anything like that, my hope is that whatever's going on with Jamie, she gets healthy enough and ends up winning the belt back at Wembley, and that's the moment that they're looking to try and create. But I really, for her sake, hope that she's not injured, that she to the point where she misses Wembley. I mean, Jamie's an amazing champion. She deserves the reaction and the spotlight that she would get at Wembley. Whatever match they would put her in, I'm assuming they would book it to be an incredible match, obviously putting her over big time. I mean, that's the crowd to do it in. So if she is going to win the belt back, I would hope it's done at Wembley. If that's the case, I hope she's healthy by then so that she could win the belt and hold on to it and add a couple more months to her reign before, I don't know, I would assume they turn Britt heel and she goes after the title against Jamie. They have that big feud, and I'm assuming that's the last big feud for Jamie before they put the belt onto somebody else. It's possible they could put it back on Thunder Rosa. You know what I mean? I mean, she's supposed to be coming back at some point in time. She never lost the belt. So, I mean, it would make sense for her to eventually come back and take the title. So, we'll see. Let's see. House of Black defeats the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. I'm liking it. House of Black is beating the shit out of everybody right now. They are now set as the dominant trios champions. The match that they put on with the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, I thought was pretty good. For the amount of how over the Acclaimed are, and when I say the Acclaimed, I'm going to include Daddy Ass at this point. With how over that trio is, it was very possible they could have had them take the belts off of House of Black in a surprise win. And they could have definitely held those trios belts just like they held the tag belts. And they have Billy Gunn, and Billy Gunn can now wrestle, so he's even more a part of the act. They would have definitely been able to have and hold a legit trios title reign. So they were definitely possible contenders for winning. It was a great match. House of Black wins. They go on to be victorious. No one looks like they're being booked to be the guys to beat these guys. Jade Cargill retains the belt, defeating Taya Valkyrie. Then it was a pretty solid match. I mean, like physically, the only person who looked like they could beat Jade at this point is Taya Valkyrie. She ends up losing, and then Mark Sterling said that Cargill will defend the title anytime, anywhere, but there's no one left. And fucking finally, Chris Statlander comes back. She comes back to a big ovation. She immediately calls Jade out on the anytime, any place. Challenges for the belt. The bell rings. They go at it. Chris Statlander wins. She becomes the title. This was obviously what Jade was holding onto the belt for this long. They were going to make it Statlander's victory. It just made sense to just have Jade just dominate people, and while Statlander was getting healthy, she's finally healthy. The reign of Jade is over. They could do other things with Jade. They could do a lot more things with Statlander, being that I feel like as a wrestler, she could mix well with more of the other women on the roster, so she could put on better matches with more people. So we get more quantity and better quality of matches with Chris Statlander. I'm all for it. And she's a Long Island girl representing Long Island. Congratulations, Chris Statlander, from one Long Islander to another. We appreciate you. They did the AEW 4-way for the title. That was not the main event. It was the next match. They had Sammy Guevara I think they had Jungle Boy came out first. Sammy Guevara came out. He brought out cue cards announcing him and Tamela were pregnant. So congratulations to them. Darby comes out. MJF comes out. They have a fight. They They beat the shit out of each other. This really was the match that I expected to see from these guys, all showcasing their ability, all proving that they were great wrestlers, that they could hang in the spotlight. I mean, when it comes to their character development and when it comes to their promo abilities, that's a different story. But in the ring, these guys could hold their own. They had great chemistry with one another. It was the match that I expected them to have. It was the match I was hoping for. It was definitely a great match. MJF comes away with the victory by putting the belt on to the chest of Jungle Boy as Darby Allin tries to do the coffin drop, lands on the belt. MJF beats him again with a side headlock takeover. This again feeds into my theory that it's going to be Darby Allin beating MJF for the world title. He's going to beat him with a side headlock takeover. It is a strong possibility that this could happen on television. This could even happen on a fucking episode of Dynamite or Grand Slam because it's going to be in front of MJF's home crowd. And if Darby wants to add insult to injury, he's going to beat MJF with a side headlock takeover in front of his home crowd. Does it need to have it in front of a hometown crowd? No. But I do think, mark my words, it is Darby who's going to take the belts off of MJF. He's the only guy not named CM Punk. Some people were asking me today, before I went live, who's gonna be, are MJF and Punk gonna run it back one more time? My answer is yes. I think they are. I think that's the match that you would book for All Out in Chicago. If you're not booking that match for All In and you're not booking, Punk for anything else, that's the match to make. And then you do what you were supposed to do last year before everyone got injured and people got suspended and shit got crazy. And and people went into rehab and all that shit. You have MJF beat CM Punk in front of his hometown crowd. MJF promised that he was going to embarrass him. It's in AEW story canon, if you want to call it. It fits in the booking. It has to happen. That's what I think. Will it happen? Who knows? But I think that the writing's on the wall for that kind of booking. The last match of the night, Blackpool Combat Club defeats the Elite. I'm not going to lie, I thought it was going to be the Elite coming away with this thing to put an end to the feud, but that rat fuck Don Callis ends up enlisting Konosuke Takeshita of all people. The guy that Callis brought in to help Omega when the Blackpool Combat Club had the numbers advantage and Hangman was nowhere to be found. He brings Konosuke Takeshita to attack Kenny Omega. That turns the tides of the match. And it is the Blackpool Combat Club with the victory, with Wheeler Yuta scoring the pin on Kenny Omega. They now mentioned twice that Wheeler Yuta has scored a major pinfall victory. They did that tonight on Dynamite. So they might be setting up Yuta for something. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know what people. So Reaper in the chat was saying that people online were complaining about Anarchy in the Arena. I don't know what people expected. I thought it was exactly what I expected it to be. These guys beat the shit out of each other, pillar to post all over the arena. We had a freaking Cesaro swing in the concession area. People got put into barbed wire. People got dropped on tacks. People got hit with screwdrivers. People got hit with finishers all over the place. They had an exploding super kick, for Christ's sake. I don't know what more people wanted. I thought the match was exactly what it should have been. I'm just shocked that this is going to keep on going. But apparently this is going to end up having some sort of booking that might involve people from New Japan, which obviously is going to lead into some booking for Forbidden Door. So I could only assume this is going to be extending in some way, shape, or form all the way throughout the summer, being that I think that Omega versus Danielson is a match that they have to make. Danielson is healthy. Omega is healthy. There's not a lot of time on Danielson's contract, and Omega's body isn't getting any younger. When else are you going to fucking do this thing? So and I could only assume that this feud this match is a segue from that feud. So we'll see. Now on to Dynamite. Jesus Christ. I'm going to do this twice a week. That's insane. Anywho. Packed card tonight. Lucha Brothers and Bandito versus the Blackpool Combat Club. Main event tonight was Saraya and Chris Jericho versus Adam Cole and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin face the 2/3 of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions, the Gates of Agony. Konosuke Takeshita comes out with Don Callis. Chris Statlander versus Nyla Rose. Swerve Strickland, Big Bill, and Trent Beretta in a triple threat, which I thought was fantastic booking. It was a great match. And Jay White and Juice Robinson have something to say. So let's get on with the review for Dynamite. So tonight started with the 6-man tag. Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta defeat the Lucha Brothers with Bandito. Great match. I mean, 3 great technical wrestlers against 3 great luchadors. There was no way this was going to be a bad match. It delivered. Really awesome shit. Lots of high flying, lots of freaking hard hitting action. Bandito held up Wheeler Yuta for like 30 seconds while the Lucha Brothers super kicked the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club into oblivion. That was fucking awesome. After the match, I think, did they do no, I don't think they did an interview after that. But basically, Danielson put over Wheeler Yuta big time on commentary. Danielson was on commentary during the match. So I do think they're going to do something with Wheeler Yuta. What it is, I don't know. But we'll see. Alex Marvez is backstage with the Young Bucks and Hangman. He asked them how they were feeling after Anarchy in the arena. Matt Jackson said that the Blackpool Combat Club brought out the worst in them. And he said he'd never see the day he tried to burn someone's face off with an exploding sneaker. Page said they're still standing and they're still swinging. And while the Blackpool Combat Club relies on the numbers game, and then he gets cut off because Evil Uno interrupts with Alex Reynolds and John Silver. They apologize all sarcastically, being that Hangman's made new friends and now he's with the Elite and now he's not with the Dark Order. So they acted all offended. Page is going to go after them, but Alex Marvez stops him and interrupts him and says, asks him on what's going on with Kenny Omega. Word was that he went back to Canada. Page said Omega didn't go back home to Canada, but he did leave the country. That's the hint that Omega went to Japan to get backup for the Elite. And what way, shape, or form that backup's going to come in, I have no idea. Like I said, the rumors and the assumptions right now are going to be Okada and Kota Ibushi. Who he ends up bringing, I have no earthly idea. It would be cool if he brought back GOD. That would be pretty dope. And brought back and I mean, that's a tag team that definitely deserves some shine on some AEW programming. So that would be pretty cool. And, you know, they're OG guys from Bullet Club. So we'll see. Shivani introduces Switchblade, Jay White, and Juice Robinson. He says that Starks he probably is sitting pretty right now because he eliminated both of them. But Starks isn't the international champion. He lost to Jay White. Robinson brings up FTR, calls them out. Says that FTR and Starks friends. Starks has no friends. They basically just started talking shit about FTR until FTR made their way to the ring. White and Robinson hide behind Tony, and they say that they think that FTR is out to apologize to them and to join Bullet Club Gold. Jay White went to pass the microphone over to Dax, but then dropped the microphone before it went to him. And then they both then they all just started going at it. Jay White wipes out Wheeler with a Blade Runner. Ricky Starks comes in. Oh, yeah, and then Robinson hit fucking Harwood with a freaking handful of quarters. I don't know where the fuck that came from. That was fucking hysterical. Ricky Starks comes out for the save and challenges Jay White to a match next week on Dynamite with FTR and Juice Robinson banned from ringside. So looks like we're going to hopefully get to see a clear victor between the two of them. That should be a great match. Tony Khan has an announcement about Collision. He says the debut edition will feature CM Punk. This both got cheers and boos. So it looks like I am not alone in thinking CM Punk is kind of a son of a bitch. And I don't want him around AEW. I don't think listen, there are some upsides to CM Punk and there are some downsides. And I have a feeling that the downsides are going to be more likely to happen than the upsides. The only person who could prove me wrong is CM Punk. So prove me wrong, dick. Prove me wrong. Go out there, be a team player, stop being a schmuck on the internet, have awesome matches, have great storylines, cut good promos, be a professional, don't be a douche. That's it. And I give you know what? And just before you think I'm singling you out, I say that to every single motherfucker who calls themselves a professional wrestler. Stop going on the internet and whining like bitches. Talk to your bosses like grown adults and stop being little teenagers and going online and crying about it. It makes you all look stupid, all right? You're grown-ass adults. Act like it. Be professionals, all right? You're lucky that they don't just fucking fire you. Because if anybody else did that, they would be fucking fired. So, talk to your bosses behind closed doors and see if you can work something out that doesn't make the company look bad. Because when you make the company look bad, you're just making all the other people who are trying to fight for a spot less appealing. Because the company looks bad. Which means less people want to look at the company. Which means less people want to look at people who work for the company. I.e., your coworkers. So, it's self-serving. Alright? And for the guy who came out in last year and had this whole promo about how he wants to help the company and give back and all this stuff, so far you've taken more than you've given. So let's turn this around, shall we? Let's turn this around. Swerve Strickland defeats Big Bill and Trent Beretta. Awesome fucking match. This is this is the match you want to see to build up someone to go for Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy's been killing it as international champion. I mean, honestly, there are days where I feel like all he does is fight schmucks, but he really has been fighting like some worthwhile people and getting into some good matches and winning. This is what we want to see from the international title, so I'm glad. And listen, if Swerve is going to be the guy to take the belt off of Orange, because they're supposed to have a match, I think, next week, he's got to be defending this thing fucking every week. This guy's got to be he's got to defend this like Orange Cassidy. I'm sorry. That's how you make a good champion. Swerve should be going out there and beating fucking every sort of babyface that has any sort of recognition that people are over with and people like. All right? He should be beating all of them. So I really hope that if Swerve does get this this particular title, that honestly they book it like how they've been booking it for Orange Cassidy, because Orange Cassidy's been fucking whooping ass every week and beating guys who are like legit contenders, and every week I'm like, this is the week. They look at all these injuries. This is the week they're going to have him drop it to somebody. He keeps on winning. He keeps on fucking winning. So, that's how I want it to be booked for Swerve. Let's see. Renee Paquette interviews the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. And that was pretty much it. They are okay, and they wish they were Trios champions. And they're the people's choice, and they're the best wrestlers ever, and they're with Daddy Ass now, and everybody loves the Acclaimed. The end. Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita come out. The crowd just booed the fucking shit out of them. Callis says he hopes to voos for Omega. What a douche. Says that he's the real victim. He says that he goes down this whole entire list of Omega's accomplishments and basically takes credit for all of them. He gained a son in Takeshita. He lost a nephew in Omega, and he is going to build a new family, and he's going to eliminate the Elite from All Elite Wrestling, and the crowd fucking hated him, and the heat was fucking next level, and Callis is an amazing heel, and I thought it was great. International champion Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin defeat the Gates of Agony. This was a great match. Great tag team action. It looks like it might be No, it is going to be Cassidy versus Strickland. They booked the match. So this was all really to set up the fact that... And Strickland was watching the entire time. He was watching Orange Cassidy wrestle. So that's the match. That's what's going to happen. Now, Sting's back. He's with Darby. Are they going to challenge Gates of Agony? I'm not sure, but Sting is back, and I love Sting, so hooray for me. Shivani's back in the ring again. He introduces Hook. He was about to start talking about the match that Hook had with the Hardys at the buy-in. And La Facción Ingobernable came out. They said that they have to interrupt other people's time so they could get an opportunity in television time. And they attacked Hook, and Jack Perry comes out and makes the save. So I'm curious as to what's going to go on. Maybe it's going to be more tag matches between Hook and Jungle Boy, but against another part of the firm. I mean, I'm sorry, not the firm. La Facción de Ingobernable. God damn it. La Facción Ingobernable. I'm a horrible Puerto Rican. I can't fucking say that word. Renee Paquette's backstage. She's with Toni Storm. They brag about the win on Saturday, and they foreshadow the victory that, well, they didn't foreshadow because they lost, but they basically pretty much alluded to victory tonight with Saraya and Jericho facing Adam Cole and Britt Baker. Chris Statlander defeats Nyla Rose to retain the TBS title. Statlander and Nyla always have good matches. They're really well matched. It's power for power. They've had great matches while Nyla was champion. They had great matches while neither of them were champions. So this was guaranteed to be a good match. I thought it was a good first title defense for Statlander. Showcased all of her power and her moves. Got to come back on Dynamite. Really happy to see her. Now the title's moving. People are getting pushes. Eric likes. The main event, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho and Saraya, in which they got the victory. At certain points, I felt like this was overbooked, but as the match went on, it was I was starting to get into it, and I did think it was the better match than their unsanctioned match at Double or Nothing. But they went back and forth. Britt Baker got Jericho in the lockjaw. She super kicked him. They got a lot of offense between Britt Baker and Jericho. Jericho actually swept the legs out from under the ring and grabbed her. I love that Jericho is allowed to get away with this stuff. I think they do it quite well when he fucks with the women's division. So really good match. Jericho's a dastardly heel as always. Saraya actually looked pretty good in this match too. So I was happy. It was nice to see a little bit of the old Paige in her tonight. But Adam Cole and Britt Baker come away with the victory. They smoochy boochy at the end of the match. Actually, at a certain point in the match, Ruby Soho and Toni Storm tried to come in for the save, but Hikaru Shida came out with a kendo stick to help him out. So, that was the end of Dynamite. Looking forward to Rampage. If you're going to watch on Friday, it's going to be El Hijo de Vikingo will defend his AAA Mega Championship against Commander and Dralistico. So it looks like it's a triple threat. Willow Nightingale puts the New Japan Strong Women's title on the line against Emi Sakura. If I hadn't talked about it, Willow Nightingale is the New Japan Strong Women's Champion after defeating Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné, after a top rope move, broke her ankle. So I guess the chances of seeing her at Forbidden Door or any New Japan events anytime soon is not going to happen. So I am eagerly awaiting her return, and hopefully she shows face in AEW. I think that'd be a cool moment. The booking for next week's Dynamite so far, Ricky Starks versus Jay White, Orange Cassidy versus Swerve Strickland. 2 awesome matches. Dynamite's already looking pretty sweet for next week. I am spent. That's the end of the show. That was fun. This is going to be a great fucking summer for wrestling, man. Oh, I didn't even talk about the other matches for Rampage. Zack Sabre Jr. is defending the TV title against Action Andretti. Shibata is facing Lee Moriarty for the ROH Pure title. Rampage, not bad. You know what I mean? Not bad. I have them all DVR'd, so I guess if I ever want to go back and, like, I wish that there was a Rampage archive that I could just go back and pick matches, or something like that, or at least, like, see, like, oh, this episode of Rampage contained this, and this card, so I'd have to do it the old-fashioned way, Google it, then look through my YouTube TV library. It's a pain in the ass, but whatever. Anywho, thanks to Doom in the chat. Appreciate you, brother, for watching and listening as always. It's good to see you at Double or Nothing. That's the end of the show. I'll be back next week. Same time, same place. The countdown to the second show, Collision, begins. And that's it, guys. I'm gonna enjoy a nice day at the beach tomorrow. I deserve it. Take care, everybody. I'll see you next week.